Hello and welcome to Ark Raiders. You've joined me just after I've jumped into Bluegate map because I had some wonderful narrative at the start of it where I talked about the different maps and the different things that they had to offer and realised that I didn't have the sound turned on. Rookie mistake. So broadly what I was saying is that each of the maps offers different things and therefore different approaches and styles of play. So this is a map that I've not explored in a great amount of detail. I've probably done 2 raids on here. So I've jumped back in just to kind of familiarise myself. Pretty basic loadout as you can see so that we're not risking too much. And it looks like we got 24 minutes left of the raid, and that means that we've joined a server that's already kind of a little bit through the playthrough, which is why some of the items have already been looted. So I do find there's a couple of different approaches that I tend to take. Is that on some raids I will just mark an extraction, the nearest one to where I am when I spawn in, and I'll go about looting and just trying to get out. And then on other occasions I'll use the free loadout to just jump onto a map and become a bit more familiar with it without the risk of losing too much gear. So this one is a bit of a mixture. We got some facilities, we got some wider open spaces. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to have a look at my map to do just that, just see what is around.
Let's head home at the northern station.
So we don't want to spend too much time out in the open like this. So we're not too far away from the extraction. Hopefully there's some... Oh, that's a bit too close for my liking. I think it's already spotted me. So that gives you a good idea of the kind of range. So we do desperately need cover if we're going to engage with the Ark. It really is. It's not even the weapon velocity. It really is the reload times that will kill you. And what we've got here is a kettle, which is a really not very effective weapon. So we just sat that one out. I don't hear the propellers, so hopefully that means that it's moved on. See if we can... I was hoping we could vault this. So we'll take a bit more of a scenic route around. Sounds like there's a bit of action going on in there. That's a lot of noise as well. That looks like they've spotted another player in there. So this isn't Bluegate at all. This is Sunken City. And so as you can see, this is kind of a bit of a... Is that one of those spider things? It's a bit of a rabbit warren. So it's one of those maps that offers a lot of cover. What have they spotted? Yeah, it offers a lot of cover. There's some parkour kind of elements to it. So if you were tasked with taking down Ark, which will be one of the early game tasks, which took me quite a while to do, then this would be a good map to do it, because you do need a lot of cover to compensate for the lack of effectiveness of the weapons that we have. there's clearly some action up there. Is that an extraction point up there? There's a lot going on up there. So Northern Station looks like it could be an extraction point. That is where most of the action takes place, because in order to extract we need to call an elevator, which makes a lot of noise, and it also isn't quick either. So the best approach tends generally to be to call the elevator and then find some cover. So on this particular map we also have a metro station. So I'm just going to quiet my footprints a little bit here, or footsteps should I say, because in these sort of enclosed spaces, if one arc is alerted to your presence, then they tend to group up pretty quickly. So you've not really grabbed an awful lot of any kind of loot here at the moment. Oh. So they're quite easy to take out. Don't do an awful lot of damage. And there's a couple of harvestable materials. So you can see here that we can actually call the metro. So the metro is our extract. So we didn't really need to travel. So we've only got 2 minutes to get on the metro. And what I'll do is just to show you the difference between the extracts. I was considering staying in the raid longer because we've not really looted much of anything. Just have a little look around just in case there is anything that is. We can use our flashlight as well. So the flashlight will attract attention also. And the other risk, of course, is that...
Don't shoot!
Yeah, is that there are other raiders that could potentially take you out. There we go. There's another raider. And that's going to take us back to Speranza. Well, that was a bit rude, wasn't it? So you saw there that the other raider was going to try and take me out. So, not the most exciting raid in history. There's our kind of path in. But it all counts towards experience, although, as you can see, not much of it, which is to be expected. So we're going to get a mixture of XP and creds, depending on what we did during the raid, and a couple of other factors. What I've done here is I have accepted as many quests as I can, which we can see over here.
If there are others like me, do you think they'd know me?
And I think we're gonna, because we've not been to Stella Mortis very often, and one of those quests is to look for cyborgs, and cyborgs, the terminology they use, androids, and search them. So because that was a short raid, let's just go in with what we came out with last time, which wasn't an awful lot of anything, but we didn't empty our backpack, so It's one of my top tips as well, is that should really be the first thing you do when you get back to your base, is hit that triangle button to empty your backpack. Otherwise it's easy to forget and you'll take it back into your raid, meaning that you don't have as many loot options or loot slots available, and also obviously if you should not extract, you'll lose it all. So Stella Mortis is exclusively, as far as I've found so far, an underground facility, and it's full of these, those, I don't know what they're called, seekers or something. They're basically the circle ones, and you very, very soon become overwhelmed. So look, there's quite a lot of activity around here, so we're going to have to be very stealthy. Even to the point where I'm not talking. Let's hope these don't beep when we go through them. So I'm not at all familiar with this map. A robotic sandbox. Sounds like someone's just had a nasty end in there. So I'll do some looting, but as I say, the primary thing that I'd like to do here is to be able to find some androids. The batteries come in quite easy from what I can remember, and I do believe speakers was needed for another thing. So we can pick up the stackable items as well. Doesn't take up another slot, it just adds to what we already have. And we've already got one of each of those things, so that's fine. Wires is taking a slot, but we can live with that. Ooh, so that means that it's an epic or legendary item, so valuable. And we don't have a safe pocket on this particular rig, so we need to be a bit careful. What is that? Okay, well, I think I like the sound of that. That's a surge kit. Thermostat. Silver teaspoon set. Sounds valuable. These again aren't going to take up a new slot because we've already got them. Heavy fuse grenade. I haven't actually used any of the throwables. Wow, so each of these desks has got quite a bit of kit on it. And as you'd imagine, most of it is kind of electronics based. Ooh, now red coral jewellery. We know that's worth a few quid. So I'm going to sacrifice the wires here. So we can hold down square to drop them. This is making it more and more important that I actually get out of here. God, this is literally... So that's another raider. Yeah, there's lots and lots of stuff here. So let us mark our map with an extract point. Hopefully there's one fairly nearby. Supply drop. Oh, okay. So we're here. I think the lobby metro is probably going to be quite active. Look, there's already somebody over there, or some activity I should say. I don't want to go through the red ones. I've got a horrible feeling that's going to make some noise. Just have a little sneak peek at the robot sandbox. So this looks like it's an Android, but oh, there's something over there. But it looks like it's been searched already. A seed vault. So seed can be currency in this game. Don't want to get too distracted from the extract. So let's stay on task and head over there. Lots of activity, so quite happy to let the other raiders clear out any arc for me. That would be very nice of them. Yeah, I'm not going through that red one. That looks very dodgy. So we've still got 23 minutes in the raid. I'm not in any great rush to take risks by just trying to get there quickly. The metro is about 50 or so meters. There's lots of what sounds like other raiders dying. Lots of activity. We'll just stick to the cautious approach. We're just going to get out of here. A red light always makes me a bit wary. Wow, that's very loud. So I'm going to take some cover best I can. So again, another similar raid really is that I would have hoped to explore a little bit more, but we have got some pretty good loot, so I'm not too shy about grabbing and running. That sounds like it's on its way. On we get. Back to Speranza. So the diversity of the maps does allow you to play in different play styles. You can look at the tasks that you've been set and kind of load up and with that in mind, but look at this. That's a fairly sizable map, and that's just one floor. So we got some valuables out. We got the necklace and the silver spoons, and we also got that legendary what was that? An anvil splitter. Tech mod for the anvil that replaces its bullets with ones that split into 4 weaker projectiles. Okay. So we are going to unload that to the backpack, hit the triangle button, see how much XP that gives us. Again, we weren't in raid for very long, so not expecting a lot. How much did you enjoy the last round? Yeah. Happy to say that I'm enjoying the game. So, workshop. Scrappy, as always, has been out in the world collecting stuff for us. We do need, in order to level Scrappy up, we need some more apricots and lemons, which I will believe are on the buses in the Sunken City. So that's probably going to be our next destination. In terms of our inventory, let's have a quick look. It's probably getting quite full again. Yeah. So silver spoon set worth 3,000. Sell that. Red coral jewellery, 5,000. Nice little earner. Sell that. And then we got lots and lots of craftables here. So we've got 152 items. What we should be able to do is we should be able to merge our stacks. That's only got rid of one slot, but that basically means that if you've got one type of item that you can put into another, then it merges it. And you can see up there in this particular bit, there's live events as well. That's a nice little addition. So they're kind of timed tasks. So because again that was a short playthrough or short raid, we're going to finish off in Buried City. See if we can't get those lemons and apricots to upgrade Scrappy. Off into the tube, top side. Familiar with this by now. So, as always with the extraction type shooters, you can play it cautious. You can skirt around the edge of the maps and pick off what other people leave behind.
This is Tian Wen. This your frequency raider? Hope you brought that Pharaoh I gave you.
Didn't actually. So that is one of our objectives, is that we were gifted a more powerful Pharaoh, which is essentially a shotgun, to then test it out on different bits of arc, so it should be more powerful. And those circle ones, I will find out the name of those at some point, because it's ridiculous me keep calling them circle ones. Apparently the Pharaoh that I've been gifted is powerful enough to one-shot them, so they are almost exclusively inside. Oh, there's a raider. I'm presuming they've left nothing. So yeah, we want to try and find the buses and stuff. Okay. I mean, again, just basic resources, but we can stack them in our stash. That's all good. I'm not really familiar with any of the maps as a whole in great detail. I've explored them and the different spawn points, but I couldn't kind of say to you this is where the buses are at the moment. So we're in Sunken City. We're clearly on the outskirts. What I want to be able to find are baskets, because the baskets are where the apricots and lemons are that we need for Scrappy. So this is, I suppose we better head towards some kind of civilization. So we've got some downed arc here. Let's keep our eyes on the skies. Make sure that we're not going to get... So we've actually spawned in and they've gone in a bit of a circle, really. Could have just headed straight backwards. So we'll just take a bit of cover here, and there's a bus down there. We could be lucky. We'll just take a little bit of cover while we have a look at the map. So yellow areas are going to be lower risk, lower reward. The ones with the timer on are the actual extracts. These ones you will need a raider key to be able to get out.
Head home at the southern station.
The raider keys, or the raider hatches, just allow you to get out almost immediately. So with the normal extracts, can we get in there? Doesn't seem to want me to get in. Yes, with the normal extracts you have to activate the lifts or the elevators or metro, as we just saw, and it will take a little bit of time and it will be noisy, so it will attract arc as well. Hopefully there's a basket somewhere on this bus. That would be fantastic, please. No, not to be. Just make sure I've not missed anything. So that noise that you can hear in the background, there were some kind of probes around. Oh look, so there's a rather big one over there, and we do not want to be involving ourselves with that. So heading in this direction is going to take us towards the city, Sunken City. Let's have a look in this building. So I'm not sure that we're going to get to the buses. I thought that was a fridge then. I thought we might get some playing cards. Something doesn't sound. There's a lot of sand out there. That means engines. Engines is not good. Yeah, he's a big boy, and we don't want to be taking that on with a kettle gun. Thank you very much. I wonder if we can walk across this. That'd be quite good to get up to the top, wouldn't it? Or I could plunge to my death. Okay, let's get out of line of sight of the big one there. We've got a bandage, so let's use it, just in case we don't get the chance later. Pottery. Not top of my list. Metal parts, quite common. Let's use the zip line to get up and away. Okay, so that's just basically where it fell from before. Yeah, he's a bit too big to take on. We'll head up first. See if there's anything interesting up here. Try and stay out of the sight of the big machines. So here we are. It's one of the. This is going to make a lot of noise, but this is a probe type thing. Somebody's already opened it actually. So we'll take what we can from that. And we'll stick to the rooftops. get across here. I'd hoped that the apartments might have some foodstuffs in for good old Scrappy. No dice so far. That didn't sound too healthy for somebody. There's another.
Don't shoot!
Oh, we'll take the space. Let's drop those. We'll take the spaceport key. So there are some doors that you need a key to get into. I like the description that it's worth a small fortune. So we're going to sacrifice some playing cards for the small statuette, I think. And then let's be about the business of getting out of here. I'm going to use the zip line to go down. And we're going to head towards our extract. Oh. So there must be something fairly valuable in there if we need a key to get to it. Now in the buried city, a lot of the... that didn't sound too healthy. Oh no. Hate these things. We just need to try and outrun them basically. That was quite lucky. Let's use some bandages. Try and patch ourselves up. That was a lucky escape. Okay, it's a good job in a way. So usually I say empty your backpack as soon as you can. Actually, that has worked out quite well for us in this instance. So the extracts on this particular map do tend to be metro stations. Make sure those things aren't following me. There's lots of noise around here. Don't want to use all my stamina. So we're going to have to get underground somewhere. So we're going to try and find the entrance to the metro. Which isn't in there. Let's head downwards. There's a raider over there. So let's see if we can follow them. They hopefully know where they're going. Although there's a lot of action over there. What a metro station. We seem to be going up instead of down, so let's head back over here. We're getting a bit panicky, so let's just calm it down a bit and not get spotted by all the arc. The metro is beneath us. Excuse me. Underground. We like underground. Oh, that worked out well. Perfect. Okay, so we call the metro. It's going to create a bit of noise and attract arc potentially. So I'm just going to take a bit of cover, and I want to see how much this small statue is. It said it was worth a small fortune, so we'll see just how much that is. Here it comes. And let's get ourselves back to Speranza. So 3 raids, 3 extracts. Not the longest of raids. We felt quite lucky on this one, to be honest, because there was 3 of those circle robots that would quite happily have fried us alive. We managed to get to some high ground and had enough bandages to patch ourselves up. That takes us up a level. Perfect. So let's have a look just how much that small statuette is actually worth. I don't know whether that's down at the bottom here. Okay, 3,000. I wouldn't necessarily describe as a small fortune, but 3,000 is 3,000. Let's sell that. What else did we pick up? Music box is actually worth more. That's 5,000. And I will end the video there. We'll do a bit of maintenance in our workshop, see what we can craft, but we're in pretty good shape. So we've gone up a level. That will probably mean no, we don't have a skill point at the moment, and we didn't manage to get our stuff for Scrappy, but we can always get back out there and try and find it. Hope that's been an enjoyable video. We managed to squeeze 3 raids in there and extract with each of them on 3 different maps, and hope to see you in future videos. Do please give the video a thumbs up if you've enjoyed it, and as always, if you hit that subscribe button, it means that I can get my videos out to a wider audience and you can have a look at other content that is on the channel. See you in the next raid.